Welcome to your all-level Hatha Yoga class. We're going to start in a comfortable seated pose. And it is a little chilly out today for Florida. So I've got my socks and we'll get moving. Kind of warm up. It's Monday, so really good time to start to kind of open and wake up the body. Let's start in just a comfortable seated pose. Maybe dropping the knees down. This allows the hips to open. I have a blanket, so I can kind of prop myself up. If you don't have a blanket that looks like this, anything, a towel, a pillow, at least you're at home, so you have a lot of these resources available to you. I'm also going to use blocks. If you don't have blocks, anything that gives you, a little bit of stability, you can use that. So just come into a comfortable seated pose. Start to feel your tailbone pull back a little bit so you feel that your spine is aligned in neutral. And then pulling the shoulders back, lifting the ears away from the shoulders, maybe taking the hands to the knees, and notice, are your hands facing up or facing down? And this is something I always kind of pay attention to. Mine changes all the time. When our hands are down, often means that we need a little bit more grounding, a little bit more centering. When the hands are up, it means we need something, excitement, energy. We're asking for something to come into our being. And so just noticing, are you needing a little bit more grounding today? Are you needing more energy today? And your hands will often tell you exactly what you need. And start cultivating your breath, or just being aware of your breath. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And just start to recognize a little how your body feels today. And see if you can do it without mentally describing it, without categorizing it. Oh, it feels good, it feels bad, I feel tired, I feel energized. Just draw awareness to the feelings inside. And maybe even kind of memorizing how you feel right now. Maybe setting an intent for your practice. And then saying a few words of gratitude and thanks. Being kind of recognizing what I'm grateful for unlocks abundance in my life. When I recognize where I'm already abundant, it starts to manifest more of that into my life. Where if I feel I'm lacking in all of these areas, I have a tendency to expand on that. So if we're going to expand on anything, we want to expand on the good. And so maybe even starting to feel the areas in your body that feel really good this morning. Not immediately gravitating towards what might feel a little tight, a little sticky. And then just taking your hands to your heart, thumbs pressed to your chest, and just start to develop a rhythm for your breath. Maybe your inhale becomes rhythmically the same as your exhale. Now we're going to start off with a deep breathing technique called Nadi Shodhana. Nadi Shodhana is alternate nostril breathing, and it's a really powerful breath. The right side of your brain actually affects the left side of your body, and the left side affects the right. Everything is kind of crossed. And so when I'm a little stuck, alternate nostril breathing strengthens the areas of your brain and your body that might be a little stuck. And so you can find that even sometimes if you're, creatively blocked, you would just breathe in and out through the left side of your nose, even though the left side of your brain is more your analytical side. So this is that cross section. But today we're going to really focus on just doing both. So you're going to start off right hand, and you're going to take your index and your middle finger, and you're going to make sure they touch, and just place the fingers down towards the bottom of the wrist. And this might be a little uncomfortable. If it becomes really distracting, you don't have to do this, but I think in time you'll find that this is a little bit easier. We're going to take our right thumb to the side of your right nostril. And we're just going to block off the nostril, so you're going to breathe in from the left side. Now, one of the reasons we do this is so we're not pushing and causing compression into the side of the nostril. So it's just lightly touching. So we're going to breathe in through the left. And we're all going to do this together. I'm just showing you this part. And we'll take the pinky side and we'll block off the other nostril, the left side of the nostril. And we'll exhale through the right nostril. Now, we're going to do this together. Your other hand can be in what's called chin mudra. You can take the thumb and the index finger together and just let it kind of rest over, palms up. So we're kind of inviting this new energy in. And we'll take this right hand in Vishnu mudra. Now, maybe just closing the eyes, we're going to breathe in together, in through both nostrils, and just breathe out through both nostrils. Let's inhale. And again, exhale both nostrils. So this time, take your thumb right over to the right nostril. You're going to breathe in through the left nostril. And then just pause, and we'll take the pinky side finger to the left nostril, breathe out through the right. Breathe in from the right. Pause. Take the thumb to the right nostril, breathe out from the left. We're going to start with rhythm. Breathe in the left. Pause. Block the left, breathe out from the right. Breathe in your right. Pause. Block the right, breathe out the left. In through the left. Pause. Block the left, breathe out the right. In the right. Pause. Block the right, breathe out the left. In through the left. Pause. Block the left, breathe out from the right. In from the right. Pause. Block the right, breathe out the left. And I want you to continue this on your own. We're going to do a few rounds. And maybe just noticing which nostril might be a little bit stronger. Noticing the count of your breathing. maybe pausing a little bit longer in the center. If you have unmedicated high blood pressure, don't pause. Just keep a continual flow. If you do not have unmedicated high blood pressure or heart issues, then add a lengthy pause. Now this settles both sides of your body. So the nice thing about this pattern of breathing is that it's calming both the left and the right side, the left and the right brain. And so if there's one area of your body you're not totally certain is working an optimal level, this will help kind of calm both sides. It will also strengthen both sides of your body. About 2 more rounds. And we'll finish on the right side. And when you're finished with your rounds, just take both hands in Chin Mudra. Palms face up towards the ceiling. Focus on your third eye. And just start to notice the effects of your practice, the effects of your breathing. Notice how maybe it feels in your body and how it might feel a little different, the energy in which you started from. All right, so we're going to take our palms together and just start to make and kind of stimulate the energy in your palms. And see if you can make a little circle going both directions. And then inhale your arms up. And then exhale, push into your lap and just kind of push down. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. And then exhale, press into the thighs. One more inhale. And this time exhale, take the hands to the heart. We're going to work into the neck today. So chin is going to come in towards the chest. We're going to take the ear over to the right side. And then come back into the center. And then take your ear to the left. And just notice how your neck feels. My neck is always a little tighter in the morning. And so I like to do the neck first. And I'm going to just move a little side to side. Chin in. And even see, can I touch my chin towards my chest? And then really reach your head as far to the side as you can. Inhaling forward. Exhale to the side. Using the breath with the movement. Inhaling forward. Exhale side. One more like this. And then coming back to the center and guide your chin over towards your right collarbone. And then back into the center and then guide your chin towards the left collarbone. And then just see, can you make this little smiley face on your collarbone with your chin? Like you're drawing with your chin. So picture a pencil at the bottom of your chin. Now starting on the right, reach your chin up towards the sky. Make a big circle. Inhaling up, exhale down. Go the other direction and draw with your chin. And again, picturing that pencil at the bottom of the chin and allow the body to do whatever it wants. And then coming back into the center and just tick-tocking the head a little side to side. And then maybe a little forward and back. Not over dropping the head back. So pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale the arms. And then exhale, push into the legs. Inhale. And then exhale, this time push into the thighs. Nice. We're going to stretch out the legs for a moment. So stretch them out, shake them out. And just kind of pat your legs down. See how your legs feel. So this is no different for the legs than kind of stirring up the energy around the hands. So kind of patting into the legs. If this hurts your knees because you're up too high, see if you come down a little bit more and kind of pat your legs in. And see if you can make some noise. So if you're doing this upstairs, see if the downstairs can hear you. And really get that pounding action going. And you can round your back. If you're able, you can sit up tall. You might notice that you don't have the ability to pound as much. So you're going to really pull into your belly, kind of harness that energy right below the belly button. And keep pressing the legs in. Doing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, point the toes, flex the feet, point, flex, and then move them side to side. All right, so come back in your seated pose. We're going to do our eye movements. So if you have glasses, you can take your glasses off. Just put the glasses to the side. We're going to gaze up and down. And when I do this, I want my chin to stay parallel with the mat. So I'm going to extend and gaze up, and then just let the eyeballs gaze down without moving the head, and going as fast as you can. Now trying to go along this vertical line, and notice, are the eyes going to 12? If you had a clock right above you, would they go straight up to 12 and down to 6? Close your eyes, blink a few times. So, and if they don't, it's okay, but it's something to recognize. We're strengthening the eyeballs. Remember, your eyeballs are a muscle too. And so your eyes are a muscle, and if we're not strengthening the eyes, by vigorous movement, it's like not exercising the body, and the eyes are going to get really weak. So this is a practice that you can do anytime to strengthen your eyes, and you'll actually start to notice your vision gets a lot better if you do this on a regular basis. So this time I'm going to gaze over towards the right side and then go left. And so just gaze to the right and the left. See if you can keep it up at eye level. This would be about where the 3 and the 9 are on that clock. So trying to keep them in a straight horizontal line. Notice if they veer up, maybe towards the 10 and the 2, or they might go down towards the 4 and the 7. And just going side to side. 3, 2, 1. Come back to the center. Close your eyes. Blink a few times. I'm going to gaze up at 12 o'clock, and I want you to go around the clock. So you're going to go to first 3, 6, 9, 12. Now, if you can do that, see if you can start to hit the numbers around the clock. And go as slow or as fast as you need to. Notice if there's any little areas that get kind of stuck. They might be a little sticky. And just a few more. And then come back to the center, close your eyes, blink a few times. Then we're going to do the opposite side. So we're going to go counterclockwise. So I'm going to gaze up. Chin is still over the mat. I'm going to gaze towards 9, 6, 3, 12. And again, I'm going to go around the clock. Notice if the head is moving. Sometimes this is challenging. And notice if there's an area that the eyes want to skip over. And it's okay if they do. Again, this is just training the muscles. And then coming back to the center, close your eyes, blink a few times. All right, so we're going to take those hands again. Rub your hands as much as you can. Get some heat going in. And picture that the heat in your hands is going to help your eyes. And keep your elbows in by your side. Let's do it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cover your eyes and just feel warmth or anything that you might have generated absorb right into your eyes. Now you're going to take your fingers and you're going to massage out your head. Now I want you to take your fingers and pull your forehead apart and bring it right over towards the side. And I want you to go all along, kind of like you're opening your skull. And just take your fingers and kind of open, going all the way down to the back. And just keep opening the skull. This is a great way to wake up the head. If you suffer with headaches, go all the way down the neck. And go to the shoulders and kind of massage into your shoulders. Now you're going to take your hands and slide them down to your heart. And just rest your hands on your heart. Notice if your heartbeat is any different. And then I want you to take your hands back to your shoulders. Keep your right hand on your right shoulder and pull apart across your body. Now take your left hand to your shoulder and pull across. Now take your right hand to your left shoulder, push down, pull across. Push and pull. So you're making like an X across your chest. Just push and pull. Push, pull, push, pull. Push, massage, pull. Push, massage, pull. And again, we're getting those lines of energy in our body to kind of wake up. Remember, the right side connects to the left side connects to the right. And so inhale the arms, reach up. Exhale, take your hands down. If you have glasses, put your glasses back on. We're going to come off our blanket onto our knees. So we're going to come onto hands and knees. If you need the blanket underneath your knees, feel free to use that. And we're going to work into the wrists a little bit. So I want you to take your wrists and face your wrists pretty close towards each other and try to spread your fingers out. Now, you're going to make little circles with the wrists and try to press the fingers down. And your wrists might be a little sore, very tight. So make the movements that you can. Now, as you shift your weight over to one side, see if you can lift up that wrist and shift, lift up the wrist. Keep the knuckles down. You'll keep the finger knuckles down, the thumb knuckle will lift. And just go side to side. Try to press into all the fingers. And see if you can go a little slower. Maybe press that palm up a little bit more. And same thing, other side, pressing into it. And then work your palms. So your palms face towards each other, your fingers face towards each other, but your palms face up. And then roll into the rests. Now see if you can turn your fingers around and straighten your arms. And you're going to bend and straighten. Press your thumb down, so your thumbnail is down, your pinky nail is down. Now see, can you touch your thumb and your pinky towards each other? Touch the second finger, third, first. And you can try this on both. And just maybe 2 more. That pinky and thumb don't want to touch. All right, press the hands down. Lean back into your toes. Curl your toes. See if you can come all the way back. If your toes don't curl down and you can't do this, it's okay. If your toes are up like this, I want you to start trying to push a little bit of pressure into the toes, or maybe even taking your hands, kind of curling the toes back. We want to eventually get the ball of the foot down and the toes to open and curl. Some of my students have fused toes, so if your toes are fused, they might not do that. But over a period of time of not curling the toes enough, they will start to straighten. They will unstraighten in time. So it's not something that you can't do. It's just something that maybe you can't do today. And sometimes that's where we are. It's not that I won't ever be able to do it. It's that I can't do it right now. And that's a really important thing to pay attention to. Now we're going to take the hands down and we're going to Press the tops of the feet down, but we're just going to massage the feet out for a moment. So you can curl your toes and kind of press your toes back. So you're pressing to the tops of the toes. All right, so we're going to find our cat-cow. Wrists and shoulders aligned. I'm going to turn my elbows so the elbows face out. Now round your back, lift up and push through. And kind of pull your head through and shift your shoulders so your shoulders stay right over your wrist. Pull your belly button in and see, can I pull my belly button more towards the ceiling? Chin in towards the chest. On your inhale, gaze forward, drop your belly down, pull your shoulders back. One more like that. So just rounding up. And then your inhale, gaze forward. Now as I round up on this one, I want you to lean all your weight over, like you're leaning your body up against a wall. And just kind of try to push your hip into that wall a little bit more. Maybe the shoulder into the wall a little bit more. And then coming back to the center, and then do the same on the other side. So I'm going to push my left side into the wall. And keep extending there. And then when you're ready, on your inhale, coming back to the center. And then drawing your chest down, and we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to kind of lean my hip into that wall. Can I lean my shoulder into that wall? And then coming back to the center, and then just leaning your body into the wall on the left side. And back into the center. I'm going to bring the forearms down and just take the hands together. Roll out the wrists for a moment. And if they make noises, that's okay. Just kind of let the wrists open here. I'm going to press the palms down, and I'm going to walk the knees back a little bit. So the wrists and shoulders are going to align. This is called my Sphinx pose. We're going to start off in Sphinx. I want you to feel how your lower back feels. So a lot of us have been sitting more. And so kind of pay attention to how your lower back feels. Pull your belly button forward. Kind of like you're trying to leave your pants behind you. So pull your belly button forward, pull your shoulders back. And kind of pull your shoulders back, but down. Like you're trying to pull, if you had a belt on, you're trying to pull your shoulders towards your belt. Now reach your belly button forward like you have a string on your belly button and someone's pulling the belly button forward. And pull the shoulders back a little bit further. And lift the heart up. And keep extending, pulling the shoulders back, lifting the heart, and see what's going on with the back. Now when you're ready, just let your elbows come out to the side. Kind of let your back rebound here for a moment. Let's even take the hands behind us so the palms face up. Turn your head any direction that's comfortable. So bring your ear to the ground. And then flip your ear to the other side, kind of turning the cheek. And on your inhale coming forward, this time I'm going to bring the arms forward, but I'm going to bring the elbows back. So the fingers are going to align a little bit more with the chest. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze your elbows in. On your inhale, come up a little bit, pull your elbows down, gaze up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale. And one more. Let's inhale. And exhale. When you're ready, curl your toes. Press yourself up into your tabletop. Wrists and shoulders aligned, knees and hips aligned. Think about rounding the back, lifting the spine up, pushing the shoulder blades up, curl the toes, press back into your downward facing. We're going to scissor our knees a little side to side. Now, if you don't have a good downward facing dog, make sure you're not forward in your downward dog. This is really hard on the upper body. Bend your knees, and sometimes you might need to take your legs out a little bit wider to make this happen. Try to push yourself away from your arms so you'll notice my head isn't really close. My ribs and my thighs might touch each other. My bottom might be back. If you can't straighten out the legs, that's okay. If you can leave your feet about hip distance apart, do that. If you need a wider stance, it's okay. Pedal your knees a little.
So maybe straightening one, bending the other, and then straightening the other and bending. And just doing that a few times, kind of pedaling it out. And then we're going to separate the feet a little bit. Walk your hands in towards your feet. Find where your forward fold. And let your head hang down. Bring the crown of the head down. Move your body a little side to side. And just kind of sway like your body is blowing in a breeze. So if you rotate your body maybe towards each side. And just see what's available. When you're ready, hands towards shins, gaze forward halfway. Exhale, bend your knees and bow into it. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, bow. We're going to do one more. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale. And as you exhale, I want you to think about taking your hands to the tops of the knees and just rolling it up a vertebra at a time. Chin in towards your chest. Reach and extend your arms up. And then exhale, take your hands to your heart, thumbs pressed to your chest. So we're going to come into our mountain pose. And I want you to start off with a really strong mountain. Strong mountain is about a strong foundation in your body. And so one of the ways I like my students to find their stronger foundation is to use a block. If you don't have a block, that's okay. You don't have to use it. If you have a block, I want you to take it right through the center of your thighs. So kind of where your thighs start to bow out a little bit. You're going to find where you're going to squeeze the thighs together. Now my toes are going to root into the mat, and I'm going to separate my toes as much as I can. Even with socks, I'm separating my toes. Press into your big toe, and I want you to think about pushing your tailbone in a little bit. So I'm kind of squeezing and drawing the straightness of the spine. What this is doing, when I draw my tailbone in, it's pulling my spine down. So I'm straightening a little bit more. Now I'm pushing the shoulders back, drawing the belly in. Squeeze the hips forward and lengthen your spine as much as you can. Maybe turn the palms slightly out. So they might be about 45 degrees, not totally out, but allow the shoulders to rotate back a little bit and squeeze the block. Squeeze the block, not with the knees, but with the thighs, squeezing in tightly. Drawing the heart up, lift up, and think about lifting the arches of your feet. So my feet are actually lifting, and it's pulling the pelvic floor slightly up. Now I'm going to inhale, reach, and I'm going to see if I can gaze where my thumbs meet each other. Exhale, take your hands to your heart. We're going to do this a couple of times. So inhale, lengthen. And exhale, lower. Now as you lengthen, try not to let your shoulders kind of crowd you. So draw your shoulders back. Pull your hips forward. Squeeze your block. And lift the arms up so the fingers are reaching towards the heavens. Exhale, take your hands down. We're going to come to the side, same thing. So as I lift up, I'm going to reach and extend the arms up. Draw the shoulders back. Now think about reaching the arms towards the right side. So as you do this opening into your side body, push your left hip over as far as you can and try to plug your hands together. Draw your shoulders back and keep squeezing into the block. Now maybe sinking over to the right side a little bit more. Breathe, lift up through the left armpit and get a little bit of length. Inhale, coming back to the center. Exhale, over to the left side. Press the palms together, not interlocking the fingers. See if you can use the strength of the arms, the shoulders. Squeeze the block. Lift the right armpit up towards the ceiling a little bit more, and maybe hug the head through the arms like a halo. Stay here, another breath. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, take the hands down. So noticing that if I squeeze this block, if I'm squeezing my thighs, I'm not feeling a lot of pressure in my lower back. And so it's going to take a lot of the discomfort out, and I'm able to actually hinge and rotate the ribs a little bit more. We're going to do that one more time. So squeezing the block,
maintaining the foundation of your feet, lifting your arches so it lifts that pelvic floor. That lifts our Mula Banda. So you're going to kind of feel like everything's lifting up. The kneecaps are lifting, the shoulders are lifting back, chest is open. Inhale the arms. Exhale. Keep the arms together and then push some weight into that left side. Lift the left armpit up and see if you can sink down a little bit more. And keep sinking the body over towards the right, reaching the arms as far as you can, staying here for 3. And 2, deepen your breath. And 1, inhale, coming back to the center. Same thing other side. So exhaling over towards the left, pushing some weight into that right side, lifting the armpit up, keeping the breath, maintaining the breath. 3 deep breaths here. See in your exhale, can you sink down a little bit more? Are the arms pulling towards each other? Staying here, 1 more breath. And inhale, coming back to the center. Exhale. Nice. Open the shoulders. And so just moving the shoulders out a little bit, rolling them the other direction. And just seeing how the shoulders feel. Keep your hips a little squeezed. So keep squeezing that block. I'm going to start to move the shoulders. And you might find the rotation of the shoulders, you need to bend a little bit more. I want you to have some freedom. Make sure you're not going to hit anything behind you. And see, can I squeeze the block and keep the hips forward? So I'm keeping the hips as forward as I can. And opening the arms, open, 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 open. And going as fast as you can. And you'll notice that your range of your hips is minimal. Well, 3 more. And 2. And 1. And then see, can you go the other direction? Kind of swimming forward. As you swim forward, you're reaching the arms. And just keep reaching. And seeing what's available. Now squeeze your block so your hips move less and your arms move more. And so the whole body isn't really working here. I'm working the arms. And notice, are the arms crossing? I like when my arms cross, but I also like to see, can my arms stay to the side? Move the wrists a little bit. Getting into the forearms. Last 2. Last 1. I know the arms feel heavy. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take the hands to the heart and move out the neck. And you can see when you work one thing, it leads into another thing. And so we have to keep kind of opening everything up. You can take your block down for a moment. We're going to find another forward fold. So inhale the arms. And then exhale. This time take your hands to your elbows and just bring your forearms right on the tops of your knees. Shift your bottom back, no rounding in the back. So see if you can kind of keep this ski slope on your back. Pull your belly button in just a little bit. And can you walk the forearms down a little bit more to the shins? And bring the ribs towards the thighs. Let the head hang down. Now as you're here, you can start to straighten out the legs to your straight. They're going to straighten a little. But they're not necessarily going to straighten all the way. You're going to keep that micro bend, keep a softness in your legs, and allow your back to really start to open up. Ribs towards the thighs as you're doing this. And just move your body side to side. Take your hands towards shins, gaze forward halfway. And then exhale, bend and bow. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, and on this one, we're going to take those hands to the knees and roll it up a vertebra at a time. Pull your belly button in, really hollow out the front of your body. Chin in towards the chest. Reach the arms up. Exhale, take the hands to the heart. So we're going to find our Utkatasana. Utkatasana is our seated chair pose. You can have a little bit of space between. And if you want, you can take that block. I'm going to take the block because might be able to find a little bit more or stronger legs. And you'll notice if your legs are a little bit stronger, your back works a little less. So I'm going to bend my knees and I'm going to squeeze the block. Now, I want to make sure again
that it's not too high up and it's not too low down towards the knees. So right at that curve of the legs is really where that block is best. Start squeezing in with the block and offer that tiny, really small little tuck. So I'm taking the pressure off the lower back. Now I'm going to inhale, reach the arms out, pinkies in, thumbs out. Draw your belly button in and sink down a little bit more. Squeeze your block, maybe even moving those legs a little closer together. Heel toe them in. And sink down. And just hold here for a moment. If this is causing pain in the shoulders, bring your hands to your heart. Or you can kind of reach the arms like you're about to hold something. Maybe the palms are up a little bit so the shoulders can rotate down. And this is okay. You know, I just don't want to feel that I'm pulling too much forward. So pull more energy back and tuck your tailbone under a little bit more. Take your hands to your heart. Let's dive forward, tailbone, left head comes down. Come back into your Utkatasana. So bend your knees and reach your arms up. Sink your tailbone back. But again, a little tuck of that tailbone. I'm going to bring the left elbow over towards the right side. And it might just rest right on that block, or you might bring it all the way over towards the knee. Try to align and look down at your shins and see, are my shins parallel? Maybe the thumbs are coming towards the heart. If you can, try to press it down there. It might go, it might not. Don't worry about it. And just squeeze the block. Notice how this feels for your hips. This is a really good way to align and rebalance your hips. And our hips get off balance. Inhale. Exhale, let's come to stand. So our hips get off balance really easily. We have a tendency when we stand, we kind of stand to one side, and one of our hips ends up getting a lot more lift than the other. And so our hips get a little out of teeter. It's kind of like if you go and get alignment on your car, we need to align our hips. And this is a great way to realign your hips. Since you can't take it to Midas or, Firestone. So this is a really good way to align your hips and much less cost. So bend your knees, little tuck of that tailbone. Think about your arms coming up. Shoulders rotate out, so it causes a little less strain on my shoulders. And again, if I'm feeling pressure in the lower back, squeeze the block, pull the belly in, and tuck your tailbone a little bit. Sink down a little more. Let's take the hands to the heart, and this time that right elbow might come to the block, and it might come all the way over towards the left side. Gaze down at your shins, see if your shins are aligned, and try to pull your right hip back if it's not. Maybe gaze up. Thumbs might press to the center of your chest. Squeeze your block. If you have the ability, sometimes closing the eyes helps you find how am I feeling these poses a little bit more. And just stay your breath. When you're ready, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, take the hands to the heart. You can take that block out. Oh, shake up the legs. I know, I feel that a lot in the legs, so I'm sure you do too. All right, we're gonna come into our wider stance. I'm gonna come into our warrior poses like this today. So I'm gonna take the legs out a little wider. I'm gonna turn my right toes, so the right toes face forward, and then I'm gonna draw this back left leg out. Now, I want you to pop the left leg out a little bit, and you're gonna find your warrior one. We're gonna square our hips forward, so my ankles are not parallel. I'm giving my hips a little bit of room. I'm gonna rotate my hips forward, and take your fingers to the sides of your hips, and I want you to squeeze your left thigh into your right. And as you squeeze the thigh, you'll notice it aligns the hips, and it's gonna pull the hips forward. So squeeze the thigh, push into the back pinky toes, and see if you can lift your back arch just a tiny bit. Even if it's a mental lift, try that. You're gonna pull some energy into that right knee, and then lastly, lift the arms. Now again, I'm still adding that tiny little tuck of the tailbone. So I'm taking the spine in neutral, and I'm putting a lot of energy on that left inner thigh to squeeze into the right. I might gaze up, but if my balance is really off, just gaze forward. Lifting the arms, stay here for a breath. Now I'm going to take the hands down and I'm going to rotate the heel back. This is going to put my heels back into alignment. And then I'm going to walk this leg out a little bit. Heel toe it out a few times. So this knee wants to stop right over the ankle and it's going to face towards my second toe. I'm going to walk the legs out, find my warrior two. And see if you can kind of turn your ribs a little towards the long edge of your mat, but gaze right off that middle finger. Push your energy down into your inner thighs and lift your heart up. And keep tucking your back right glute or left glute under. Stay here for a breath. And turn your right palm up and just bring your right arm up towards the ceiling. Press your right shoulder down and take your left hand to your ribs. Push your rib cage forward and lift your arm up a little bit more towards the ceiling. Gazing up, squeezing that back left glute. Hold here. And when you're ready, bring both arms out. Let's straighten out this front leg. I'm going to bring this right arm up again. I'm going to take the left hand and just give yourself a really nice stretch in this right side body. And just kind of pulling that right hand back, lifting the heart. Stay here for a breath. When you're ready, bring those arms back, re-bend into your knee, kind of sink down into it. Straighten out the leg, turn the toes. So I'm going to look down and see that my ankles are in alignment. And I'm going to find that warrior one. So I'm going to place and bring this back leg in, heel, toe. And then as I come, I'm going to hop this right leg out just a little bit. So I notice that my ankles don't totally align. I have some room for my hips. Now I'm going to bend into my left knee and squeeze my right inner thigh over towards the left thigh. Now as I squeeze, I want to kind of push into those back two pinky toes, and maybe the hands come to the hips and squeeze, and notice that the fingers are facing forward like headlights. Little tuck of that back right glute. It's going to take that pressure off the lower back and reach the arms up. Lengthen the chest, but pull the shoulders down into the back. So I'm going to reach up. Pinkies are in, thumbs out. And again, pay attention to what's going on in your lower back. If you're feeling a lot of pressure in the lower back, keep squeezing that right glute. So putting emphasis on the right glute, squeezing the inner thighs towards each other, hugging to what's called the midline. So I'm always going to hugging into the center. Staying here for a breath. And when you're ready, take the hands to the heart, turn your back right heel so it's adjacent to the short edge, and then walk that leg out a little bit. Give yourself some space. Find your warrior two. Ribs are going to face towards the long edge of my mat, and I'm going to gaze down my left middle finger. I'm going to tighten my back right glute. So this is how yogis get those really awesome tight muscles, is we're putting emphasis on that muscle. So tighten your glute, bend your knee, reach your arms out in opposition. Inner thighs are slightly pulling down, but lifting up through the chest. We're going to reach this left arm forward a little bit, turn your palm, and reach your fingers up at 12 o'clock. Think about taking your right hand to your ribs and just pushing your rib cage out a little bit. Lifting the heart, lifting the chest. And see if you can lift your armpit a little bit more towards that 12 o'clock. Maybe reaching your right arm back, not pushing into the leg. So make sure you're not dumping in, and my knee is still facing forward towards those toes. Reach back into your warrior two. We're going to reach that arm back up, and this time straighten out your left leg. Use your right hand grab on, and just give yourself a little bit of a pull. Try to keep your body into the center of your legs. Inhale, coming back to the center. Rebend for a moment.
And then straighten out your left leg. Bring your legs so your toes face along the edge. Bring it in a little bit. Heel, toe. Let's take the hands to the hips. Inhale, gaze up. And then exhale, fold. And as you fold, bend your knees when you need to. Try not to round your back a lot. So I'd rather have you bend your knees so you get your ribs more through the legs. And then just allow your hands to come down. Let your shoulders rest. Let your arms do anything they want on this first one. Palms can be up, they can be down. Maybe offer a little sway side to side. Loosen anything that might be a little tight. Take the hands to the shins, gaze forward halfway. And then exhale, bend. On your inhale, slowly coming up, chin in towards the chest. Reach and extend the arms up. And then exhale, take the hands to the heart. So we're going to bring the arms out towards the side. Interlock your fingers. The legs are still wide. So widen your legs. Lift your heart. Exhale. Bend your knees a little bit. Round your lower back just the tiniest bit, but not the upper back. Straighten if you can. And try to relax your arms a little bit. So if you can relax your arms, your hands are going to come down a little bit more. If they don't come down much, don't worry about it. Just see what's available. Kind of point your shoulders towards your knees, and then allow your arms to come down wherever they want to go. Let's gaze over towards the right side. Let the arms kind of draw over towards the left. And then when you're ready, coming back to the center, and then just gazing over towards the left. Coming back to the center. Release the arms, take the arms all the way down. Hands grab into the elbows and just allow yourself to sway a little side to side. I'm going to take the hands to the shins. Lower yourself down, and this time, if you can, and you can use a block or blocks if you need them, but I'm going to start to bring the heels in, and I'm going to find that yogi squat. So I'm going to find my Mulasana. Mulasana is that garland pose. I'm trying to bring the hips down. If this isn't possible, remember you can take those blocks and you can sit, find your squat here. You might not have a squat. Your heels might be lifted. If your heels are lifted, make sure to put something underneath your heels. You can use a blanket and roll that blanket up, and that can make a huge difference on having that support behind the back of the heels. And I just want you to stay here for a little bit. This is kind of a back bend. You know, it's rounding our back a little bit, so we're bending into it. And then when we come into our true back bend, going the opposite direction, it's going to kind of loosen. As we, dome the body and then we flex the body, it starts to change our shape. And so seeing how far your fingers can come out, if the heels can come down, allowing them to come down, and letting the head kind of battle between the body. Maybe pulling the head down, the bottom, the head, chin in towards the chest, and just do this for a few moments. When you're ready, you're going to bring your bottom down. You're going to extend your legs forward. I want you to reach and extend the arms up. Pull your bottom back a little bit, like you're walking your tailbone towards the back of the mat. And then fold forward, chin towards your toes. Staying here for a breath or two. On your inhale, lifting up. We're going to find a little bit of a twist. So I'm going to grab onto my right knee, and I want you to just twist. Lift your ribs, and maybe bring your ribs to the outside of the leg as much as you can. You might bring that left elbow out, and you might lean back a little bit, gazing towards the back of the right shoulder. Try to pull your left heel forward. On your inhale, coming back to the center, straighten out the right leg and do the same on the left. So the left leg is pulling in. You might just hug that leg with your right arm. If you can lean back a little bit, maybe bringing the outside of that tricep to the left knee. And coming in as close as you can. So you're straightening the spine, pushing the right heel forward. gazing over your left shoulder. And when you're ready, coming back to the center, we're going to roll down. So I want you to go down as slow as you can. Touch the toes down and think about curling in on yourself. So your chin is in towards your chest. Let's see if we can do this for 10 and 9 and 8. Shoulders are down. 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep the toes down. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Lower down. Walk the feet in a little closer. Toes might touch. And I'm going to press my lower back to the ground. So I'm going to find my bridge pose. On your bridge, think about peeling your spine up off the ground. Now, this is no different than those mountain legs. So I'm squeezing my thighs towards each other as though there's a block there. You're going to notice as I did that, my hips lifted up a little bit more. I'm taking a lot of pressure off my lower back. Because the glutes kind of automatically fire, the pelvic floor lifts. So I want you to think about pressing into the big toes, lifting the arches of the feet. Push into the heels and the balls of the feet, lift the arches a little bit more, and you'll notice the pelvic floor lifts, the thighs automatically tighten. Now if you can, bring the shoulder blades a little closer together, and maybe walk the shoulders towards each other as you lift the heart up. Now instead of the chin being down here, lengthen the chin away. So try to get the chin away from you as much as you can. And we're going to hold this, just kind of an extended bridge pose. Keep thinking about squeezing the thighs, lifting the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades, lengthening the neck, lifting the arches. Pelvic floor is lifting. Everything is lifting. And your body is just making all these little calibrations for this better and bigger pose. Stay here for about 3 more breaths. And just keep recalibrating, lifting, seeing how much of a back bend you have. Lifting the heart. When you're ready, slowly lowering down a vertebra at a time. Now, if you have that block, we're going to finish off legs up towards the ceiling. If you don't have a block, that's okay. Maybe scooching yourself up into a wall and bring your legs up. Now, I'm going to place this on my bottom, so my tailbone touches the block, but my spine does not. I'm going to lift the legs up, one at a time. And just make sure that you don't feel like you're falling off the block. And the toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Maybe the arms are extending out. Palms are up or down. And notice again, what is the energy in your body? How is it different from where you've started? Maybe rolling out the ankles. You might feel a little fatigued, a little tired, but is your energy different? Is it peaceful? Is it, less static? Does it have a better flow? Does it feel equal on both sides? Are you shakier? There isn't a good or a bad. There's just different. There's change. Change is the constant that we always have. We can't count on anything but change. So if we embrace change, then every day we look forward to what life presents. Because we know it's always changing. We make that a practice. So when you're ready, bring your feet down. Lift your bottom. Take the block out if you have one under there. And just grab under your knees. Pull your knees in towards your ribs. Rolling side to side. Baby, taking the hands towards the sides of the feet.
and sway a little side to side. And moving in a way that makes your body feel good. Not calculated. Kind of go with what your body is saying. If your body has a language and it can talk to you, what is it telling you to do? If you can't grab the feet, that's okay. Grab onto the backs of the thighs. You might grab the knees. Try to stay away from the ankles. So I'm trying to face the feet so they stay in line with the hips, not come together and open the knees in a different way or the hips in a different way. When you're ready, you can roll a little forward and back on your spine or just allow yourself to come into your Shavasana. And see how you feel. How does your energy feel here? What is going on? And being in touch, in tune with my internal space is how I change my external space. Your internal space is always going to tell you when you're in a point of happiness, joy, peace. When we cause ourselves undue pain, frustration, tension, and we don't tap in to how to change that back to this perfect harmonic state, our outside or our life takes on the energy that we're allowing. But if I'm always in touch with my internal energy, then I can change what I'm doing. I can make sure that my internal energy feels good, feels strong. It's not that I'm never going to do anything that's challenging. It's that I'm not doing something that's causing my body to be in a point of negative stress. And there is positive stress, and there's negative stress. And tapping into those feelings, those emotions, that is what is going to keep myself in harmonic vibration with everything that my life could be. Tapping into how I feel internally will always cause what happens to me externally. And when you become a master of harmonizing your internal being, then you will have what looks like a utopian life. Because everything that you want will always be in alignment with who you are. And it's not that stress won't come into my life, but it's that I won't allow it to be a stress in my life. Remember, change is our constant. It's always going to be there. But not rioting against the change and realizing that all change is for my greater good. It's all for my happiness. I just have to be only in touch, in tune, and responsible for my internal being. Because the one thing I know I cannot do is effect change the external or the internal being of anybody else but myself. And when I become the master of that, life will be beautiful. And so please stay in your Shavasana as long as you possibly can. Have an absolutely glorious day, glorious week. I will see you again on Wednesday for another